This only happens in the Netherlands, and it's leaving everyone shocked. A country where the streets are made of water, where a tulip bulb once cost more than a house. This country hides many secrets, and today, you'll get to know each one of them. Are you curious? Join us and let's go. Number 16. Van Gogh's Star Trek. In the small town of Nieuwennen, in the south of the Netherlands, there is something magical. A cycle path that glows in the dark. Created by artist Daan Rosegaarde, this 1 kilometer-long path is a modern homage to Vincent van Gogh's famous painting, Starry Night. During the day, it looks like an ordinary cycle path, but when night falls, the show begins. Thousands of special pebbles embedded in the asphalt absorb sunlight during the day. At night, they release this stored glow, creating a spectacle that seems to dance beneath your wheels. The system uses LED technology combined with photoluminescent materials. It's as if the stars in Van Gogh's painting have descended from the sky to light your way. The coolest thing is that this functional work of art isn't just beautiful, it's also super eco-friendly. It doesn't need any electricity to work, as it only uses stored sunlight. The shiny pebbles form patterns that resemble the famous painter's brushstrokes, transforming a simple bike ride into a unique artistic experience. But wait, there's more. Let me tell you something incredible about Dutch windmills that will blow your mind. I'll follow up on item 12 with more amazing details that I just discovered. Number 15. The craziest border in the world. The border between the Netherlands and Belgium is a geographical mess that looks like something out of a comedy movie. In Baarle-Hertog and the neighboring Dutch town of Baarle-Nassau, the border is so complex that they had to paint white crosses on the ground to show where one country ends and the other begins. Can you believe there are restaurants where you can sit down in the Netherlands and get up to get salt in Belgium? Baarle-Hertog is technically Belgian territory, but it is completely surrounded by Dutch territory. To make matters worse, there are pieces of the Netherlands within this area. It's like a patchwork city where you can cross international borders just by going from your bedroom to your kitchen. The most amazing thing is that the laws that apply to each house depend on the location of the front door. If your front door opens to the Dutch side, you follow Dutch law. If it opens to the Belgian side, Belgian law applies. This has already created some really funny situations. Some people have moved their front door to another country without leaving their home. Shopkeepers also have to deal with this. As each country has different holidays, one shop might be closed on the Dutch side, while another, literally next door, is open because it is in Belgian territory. Number 14. The mini houses. A unique trend in the Netherlands is perfectly designed houses measuring less than 50 square. In Amsterdam, architects are transforming tiny spaces between buildings, called missing teeth, into ultra-modern homes. The smallest house in the country is only 2 meters wide and 5 meters deep, but it has 2 full floors. The Dutch have turned the lack of space into art, creating multifunctional furniture and using every inch of space intelligently. Stairs become wardrobes, beds come down from the ceiling, and entire walls move to create new spaces. It's like living inside a Rubik's Cube. I have a question for you. First, I'd like to tell you that it's possible to keep up with the biggest curiosities of our world every day. But for that, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So, have you subscribed yet? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Now that you've done that, let's go. Number 13. The station that became a dinosaur park. In the town of Bokstel, a former railway station from 1865 has become the largest natural history museum in the country. The Oertijd Museum has a secret. In the gardens of the station, they have created a Jurassic forest with more than 60 life-size dinosaurs. The scientists at the museum are so meticulous that they've even recreated the sounds dinosaurs made. There's a lab where kids can dig up real fossils, and the coolest thing is that when they find something, they can take it home. The old station waiting room now houses a 40-foot T-Rex, and the tracks have been turned into a path that takes visitors on a journey through 65 million years. Number 12. The cat's secret hideout. In Amsterdam, there is a place that is a paradise for cat lovers. De Pozenboot, or Cat Boat. It is a cat shelter that has been operating inside a houseboat since 1968. The founder, Henriette van Wielde, started out by taking in stray cats and ended up creating the only floating cat shelter in the world. The boat has 3 decks adapted for cats, with sleeping and play areas, and even protected balconies where cats can sunbathe safely over the water. Every day, dozens of tourists line up to visit the more than 50 cats that live there. The best part? If you fall in love with a kitty, you can adopt it and take a floating piece of Holland home with you. Every corner of this boat has a story. Some cats arrived swimming. Yes, this happens. others were rescued from the canals, and some are the offspring of several generations of cats that were born right there on the boat. The staff knows each cat by name and knows all their quirks. Number 11. The museum that floats on water. The Pavillon Puur in Almere is proof that the Dutch are masters at building things on water. It's a museum that literally floats on Lake Weirwater. The building looks like an aquatic spaceship, made entirely of glass and steel, supported by a giant floating platform. The most incredible thing is that the museum moves. Depending on the wind and currents, it gently rotates over the water, offering different views of the city. Visitors arrive by boat or via a floating walkway, and inside the museum, you can feel the gentle movements of the water. At night, the entire building lights up, creating magical reflections on the lake. Number 10. The national orange fever. In the Netherlands, there's a national obsession with the color orange that defies any logical explanation. It all began in the 16th century with William of Orange, the revolutionary who led the Dutch revolt against Spanish rule. Orange has become a symbol of freedom, independence, and national unity. On King's Day, April 27th, the entire country turns into a sea of orange. The streets of Amsterdam and Rotterdam are filled with people wearing orange clothes, wigs, glasses, and accessories. Even pets get orange costumes. The Dutch take this passion so seriously that they created the Orange Legion, a fanatical group of supporters who follow the national football team. During matches, the stadiums become an orange spectacle, with face paint, flags, and full costumes. Interestingly, this color does not even appear on the national flag, which is red, white, and blue. At international sports competitions, the Dutch supporters form such an eye-catching group that they have become a tourist attraction in their own right. Number 9. Keukenhof. Keukenhof, located in the charming town of Lis, is the largest flower garden in the world, covering 79 acres with over 7 million tulip bulbs. From mid-March to mid-May, the garden transforms into an explosion of color, with artistic arrangements that look like living paintings. Each flower bed is meticulously planned to create specific patterns and designs as the flowers bloom. The history of tulips in the Netherlands is fascinating. Brought from the Ottoman Empire in the 16th century, tulips became a symbol of status and wealth. In the 17th century, tulipomania took hold, when a single bulb of a rare tulip cost more than a house in Amsterdam. It was one of the first economic bubbles in history, and although it ended in crisis, it definitively established the tulip as the Dutch national symbol. Number 8. The Amsterdam Submarine Museum. Beneath the waters of the Amsterdam harbor lies a museum that no one would imagine, the Nemo Science Museum. The building looks like a giant green ship emerging from the water. Designed by architect Renzo Piano, the museum has 5 floors full of interactive science experiments. The roof of the museum is a sloping, grass-covered public square that offers 360-degree views of the city. In the summer, it turns into an urban beach with sun loungers and umbrellas. Inside the museum, kids can create giant bubbles, generate electricity by pedaling their bikes, and learn about DNA by playing with giant models. Number 7. Aalsmeer. The Aalsmeer Flower Auction is a spectacle that defies imagination. Imagine a space the size of 20 football pitches completely dedicated to the flower trade. Every day, millions of flowers of all kinds, tulips, roses, orchids, and exotic species, arrive from as far away as Africa and South America. The auction system is unique. Unlike traditional auctions, prices start high and then gradually decrease until someone makes a bid. This creates an electric atmosphere, where buyers have to make split-second decisions. Flowers auctioned in the morning could be decorating a dinner table in Paris the same day. The logistical precision is as impressive as the scale of the operation. All flowers are kept in perfect temperature and humidity conditions throughout the process. Number 6. The windmills of Kinderdijk. You know those windmills that look like postcards? Well, they are true time machines that revolutionized the Netherlands since the 13th century. Just imagine, in a time without electricity, the Dutch transformed the wind into a super tool that did everything. It ground grain, sawed wood, pressed oil, and most incredible, pumped water from flooded areas. In Kinderdijk, the 19 giant windmills worked together like a well-tuned orchestra. When they were built in the 18th century, these windmills were state-of-the-art technology. Think of a modern startup that creates innovative solutions. That's exactly what the windmills represented back then. The coolest thing is that each windmill needed a super specialized operator. These guys had to understand meteorology, engineering, and even a little physics to make those giant blades work properly. They lived in the windmills themselves with their families and had to be ready to work 24 hours a day. After all, the wind doesn't have a fixed schedule, right? And that's not all. The Kinderdijk windmills are so important that they have become a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Every year, millions of tourists visit this place to see how the Dutch managed to transform marshes into fertile land using only the power of the wind. Number 5. The anti-flood system. In a country where 26% of the territory is below sea level, the Dutch have created the most impressive flood prevention system in the world. The Muslet Barrier is a giant structure that protects Rotterdam from the waters of the North Sea. It consists of 2 steel arms, the size of 2 Titanic ships, that close automatically when there is a risk of a storm. The system is so accurate that computers monitor weather conditions 24 hours a day and can close the barriers in just 2 hours if necessary. The Dutch are so good at this that other countries hire their companies for flood protection projects. Number 4. The tower that plays music in the rain. In Zaandam, there is a tower that turns rain into music. The Rain-Away Tower is a 12-story building covered by a special structure that collects rainwater. Each drop that falls activates different sensors, creating a unique symphony. Water flows through transparent tubes that glow in the dark, transforming rainy days into light and sound shows. The best part is that all this water is reused. It goes straight to a system that supplies the bathrooms and waters the plants in the building. It's like a giant musical instrument that helps the environment. Number 3. De Wallen. Amsterdam's red light district, De Wallen, has been defying convention since 2000. Part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site, this 1,810 square meter area is home to 370 adult entertainment establishments that operate 24 hours a day. During the day, the neighborhood blends in with the city's historic architecture, but at dusk, the red neon lights reflect off the canals, creating a distinctive pink glow. The district employs more than 1,200 professionals on a rotating basis, all registered as independent contractors, paying taxes and following strict regulations. The famous window shops are regulated by law, and the establishments need specific licenses to operate. Professionals must be over 21 years old and undergo annual medical exams. The average price for services ranges from $43 to $53 per 15 to 20-minute session. Number 2. The houseboats of Amsterdam. In Amsterdam, the concept of housing literally floats. More than 2,500 houseboats transform the city's canals into ultra-modern waterfront neighborhoods. Don't think they're just makeshift boats. These homes have all the comforts you'd expect: high-speed internet, central heating, and even rooftop gardens. Residents receive a regular postal address and pay taxes like any other property. The houseboat tradition began in the 1960s, when Amsterdam was facing a massive housing crisis. At the time, old cargo boats were converted into alternative housing. Today, buying a houseboat in Amsterdam can cost more than a traditional apartment. What's even cooler is that some have been turned into floating hotels and museums, allowing tourists to experience this unique aquatic life. Number 1. Urban vertical farms. The Netherlands is revolutionizing agriculture with vertical farms in the middle of the city. In Rotterdam, there's a floating farm where cows produce milk in a 3-story structure anchored in the harbor. The first floor has a garden that produces fresh grass to feed the cows. The second is the cowshed, and the third is where the milk is processed. In Amsterdam, abandoned factories have been transformed into vertical farms that produce fresh vegetables year-round using LED lighting and hydroponic systems. A single vertical farm can produce the same amount of food as 10 hectares of traditional land, while using 95% less water. What country do you want to visit next on the channel? Leave your answer below in the comments. Take advantage now and click on this video that is appearing on the screen. I separated it especially for you. Well, that's it, and until next time, Curious One.